Put up, put up.
Your team put you through the ringer, gentlemen. Egal. Look, we'll get onto the game in its entirety later. I wanted to start off, though. I know he isn't your captain, but what a captain's performance. What a captain's goal. What a leader's goal at the end there by Declan Rice. Your £100 million man delivers again. Talk to me about the goal and him overall, my friend.
Declan Rice is a game changer. And to the people who tuned in thinking that we're going to drop points in that game, we don't give up. This Arsenal team has shown this season, stoppage time, last minutes of the game, we don't drop our heads. We continue to go, even if the fans don't believe it, even if some of the people in the crowd at the time don't believe it. The players on the pitch always think they have a chance. They play into the final whistle, and they don't give up. And that showed today, once again, when everyone was thinking, you know what, they're just kicking it. So many corners, so many chances. We're not getting it. We're not getting the breakthrough. Some people, they would have dropped their heads. But our guys, they kept going. They dug deep, and they kept going. They finally got the breakthrough. And you know what? It shouldn't have taken until the 97th minute. But at the end of the day, that's all that matters. We got the 3 points. We got out of there. And I think a lot of people are going to struggle against Luton Town this season away from home in that small ground. It was a very different environment to play in. And I got to give them credit. Luton Town scored 3 goals against us, even though we made 2 defensive errors that led to the goals. You got to give them credit. They worked us hard this game, and it was one of our toughest games so far this season. Declan Rice, though, game changer, signing of the season. If we win the league, it's going to be down to the difference that he has made in this team defensively and also mentality-wise. He is a born leader. He doesn't give up. He's one of those guys that continues to push on. Attacking-wise, he was one of the guys continuously taking chances. Every time we lost the ball, he's there to win it back for us. So if I was to say the antithesis of, the person who would describe our team at this moment in time is not Bukayo Saka, it's not Martin Odegaard, it's literally the determination of Declan Rice. And if we win anything this season, it's single-handedly down to that signing clicking as quick as it has and how seamlessly he's coming to this team and become one of our best players. It's almost like he's been with us for 5 years. And I don't think he's even been with us for more than 5 months.
I understand that. Saad, when you look at that goal from Declan Rice at the end, it was about the team's composure. It was about working the angle. It was about not giving up. And Declan Rice has done that, whether it's scoring goals, clearing balls off lines all season. How good a goal was that at the end from Arsenal when you contextualize it, when you look at it from the quality of the football as well?
Listen, firstly, like my voice is semi-gone because I was screaming. The ball from Martin Odegaard, to get that precision of that ball to literally get on his head, and the positioning from Rice, and to literally get it into the bottom corner. The keeper was never getting to it. Never. He was even covering half the goal, and he still wouldn't have gotten to it because it was so precise into the bottom corner. I feel like Rice this season, listen, he scored against Manchester United. That was to win us the game. And then he also scored against Luton now to win us the game. So Declan Rice right now, 105 million worth every single penny. Every single penny. He's come into this team and he's changed the mentality of these players. He's heightened it. Because I still think we had a good mentality, but he's heightened that mentality and made us think, you know what? Even if we're losing in games, even if we're drawing in games, now we keep our head up. We carry on going until the very end because we will find that goal. It doesn't matter what we do, we will find that goal. But yeah, amazing goal from Declan Rice, man. His position and that and everything.
It certainly was. A lot of people are writing this in the comment section, Brandon, about Declan Rice. And by the way, I put like a little agenda in the private chat so everyone can read the order we're going to go through. But they're all writing this comment. Rice is him. Is Rice that guy in your opinion? How impressed are you? Not just with him today, but overall.
Yeah, man. Rice is the real deal. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like you said, £105 million looks like an absolute bargain right now. He's been carrying this team all season. You know, all season. When we've had poor performances, 9 times out of 10, it's Declan Rice, the one that steps up. It's Declan Rice who's the standout player on the pitch. I don't think he had a great game tonight. I thought he did really well in terms of mopping up and sweeping up defensively. But going forward, we didn't see too much from him. But again, clutch moments, and you need these players to step up in the clutch moments. And that tonight reminded me of Bournemouth last season, Reece Nelson's last minute goal. And it's just, it shows the mentality of the team. I agree with what everybody's saying. The mentality of never giving up. I don't think we, did particularly great tonight in terms of, like you said at the beginning, that it was a 4-1 game or Arsenal, deserved to win the game. I think when you go off of clear-cut chances, I don't think we really created that much in terms of clear-cut chances other than the goals. It's not like we was peppering, Luton's goal. And you have to credit Luton as well. I agree with Agal. I weren't expecting it to be as much of a tough game as what it has been. But to go there with that atmosphere, I mean, they made it really difficult for us tonight. They worked really, really hard, and you have to credit them as well. And look, anybody who thinks going to Luton away is going to be easy, it ain't. Yeah, Tottenham went there, they struggled. Liverpool, got a draw against them. They almost got a draw out of us tonight and probably did deserve a draw. But, this is why we will be up there again fighting for a league title this season, because when it matters, we have players that can step up.
And that is what Declan Rice did for you tonight. And Nathan, I want to ask about another player as well who didn't get the winner, but he got the equaliser tonight. That's 3 goals in his last 4 games. Kai Havertz is starting to turn up for Arsenal more regularly now. How impressed were you with him tonight?
Yeah, I was very impressed, to be fair, man. It was nice to see him play with some conviction, because there was moments where he'd burst through the middle. I think earlier on in the season, he would have kind of turned back and played it safe. But he's starting to kind of get some confidence, and you're starting to see him imprint himself in the Arsenal team. And that is his 3rd goal. His 3rd goal in the last, 3rd goal in 4 games, I think it is, he said. So it's nice to see him having an impact and having some confidence, because I alluded to it before when he came in from Chelsea. I kind of looked at him as a broken player. Like, he had no confidence, no kind of, he just didn't see himself, and he looked a shadow of the play he was at Leverkusen. And, that's always been kind of the hope that we've had, is maybe he can rediscover that form that he's had in Germany. But it's nice to see him kind of playing with some sort of authority, moving the ball forward, going into attacking areas and doing things with actual conviction. And, earlier on in the season, we were really praising him about his combativeness, his physicality, his ability to kind of to work hard. And that was something that Chelsea fans told us that he didn't really have. So that was kind of a shock. But to now see more elements of technical play being added to his game and attacking output being added is an added bonus. And it's promising to see. And I'm hoping it can only go up from here, and we can see a better Kai Havertz as the season goes on.
Can I just say on Havertz as well? I thought he was our best midfielder tonight. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was brilliant. Winning his duels, his aerial duels, from an attacking sense, he was getting in great positions. He's kind of almost started to pick up that Granit Xhaka type role that we see last season from Granit Xhaka in the positions that he picks up going forward. Every ball that Raya was kicking long, he was winning. I thought he was brilliant tonight. I really did. I really thought he was our best midfielder. I know you don't want to kind of veer off and talk about other things, Tel, but Odegaard, for me, I thought in terms of his performance, he weren't bad. But boy, does that boy need to get in the gym on Monday, because the amount of times I was watching him getting bodied by Ross Barkley, it was unreal. It really was. But yeah, Kai Havertz, excellent tonight. Brilliant.
No, he certainly was. Jason, do you echo that about him? And Jack has scored 9 goals for you in all competitions last year, and a lot of fans have said, well, how do we replace those goals? That's 4 now from Kai Havertz, not even halfway through the season. He could easily, it looks like those goals will be replaced if he continues in this vein, if not even more, with his confidence returning, because he's always in goal-scoring positions. Is this the Kai Havertz you were expecting to see? And how much more do you think there is to come from him?
Look, honestly, when he first signed, my thoughts. Like, I didn't rate the guy. He was a flop at Chelsea, and it took time, to get those goals running. Like, I was frustrated, time after time, game weeks after game weeks, and after that Brentford goal, that confidence kind of shook up. Like, there was I always, it's not like I always seen a player in there, but at the same time, I felt like there's an area in the pitch where, like, you know, there's like his physical presence is the main key to unlock defenses or, you know, break up that play. And he was one of the best midfielders tonight, and I was happy. Like, his 3 goals in 4 games, his confidence is skyrocketing. Like, you know, long may it continue. Like, honestly, like, there's more to come. There's more to come. There's also a goal scoring side to him as well. So, like, I had my criticisms of him. Like, you know what? Like, I was pissed off. Like, you know, he's been a donkey like throughout this whole career at Arsenal, but he managed to turn it around. Long may it continue, to be honest.
Well, I think we've been too harsh on Kai Havertz because a lot of us didn't want him. It's always going to take a time for a player to get used to a new position, a new scenery, and we're 14 games in, 15 games now? Let's be honest. That was back-to-back performances where we're seeing him look more acclimatized to that midfield, looking better and better on and off the ball. When he's taking the ball, he's now driving with it, looking more dangerous and finding himself in the right pockets. I think not only does it take time for a player to get used to the system, it also takes time for people who are playing in the team to get used to which areas and situations you can find him. So the team and the player are starting to get used to each other. You're seeing more of a gelling, and this performance, hopefully more to come, because he's starting to score goals like it's nothing. And the key part is he's finding himself in the right areas, and the teammates are finding him in those areas, because he was making these runs before. They just were never really finding him. His overall performances have massively improved, but now he's also being found in the right areas of the pitch where it's leading to better opportunities for him.
Yeah, listen, I agree with what you're all saying. Like, I criticize that signing the same as I criticize Mount to Man United. I just looked at them both and thought, I don't see how it's working. The first 5, 6, 7 games, I thought, why is he starting him? He looks devoid of confidence. But I don't think Kai Havertz, I've said it before, I wouldn't personally set the standard of, well, I don't see him play like Zidane. If I don't see him play like Xavi, if I don't see him play like Iniesta, I'm going to be angry. Because all you're doing in that regard is setting a standard that is never going to be achieved. Because those players are, you may never get a player as good as Zidane again, ever in any position. But I think what he's good at doing, he's decent on the ball. I think against teams like this, he should have a dominant display. But something that he was dangerous with at Chelsea, but just didn't score, was that ball being put across that 6-yard box. Those what you would call tap-ins and headers from easy positions. He just didn't convert them. If he can get his confidence back like he had earlier at Chelsea and at Leverkusen, that is a dangerous player. If he can start scoring, and he ain't going to score 3 goals every 4 games. I don't think, because that means he's going to be sort of a 30, 40 goal a season player. But if he can start putting in 15 to 20 goals from that midfield position, that is pivotal to any team. It really is. And, sometimes he'll start, sometimes it'll be an impact sub. But listen, I think he's so far, he hasn't paid you back the 65 million. But you're 6 points clear of Man City at the top of the league, a position, I know they've got a game in hand, but a position that most of your managers' detractors said you'd never be in again because you didn't win the league last year. Kai Havertz, of course, along with Declan Rice, 2 of your big summer signings have been integral with you winning the points to get there. And whether you like the player or not, that deserves congratulations, in my view. That deserves respect, in my opinion.
Also,
and even his movement for the second goal, for Jesus' goal, that goal doesn't happen without Havertz making that run and taking the defenders away to the front post.
He's moving for both goals.
Things.
Both goals. Watch the first goal that Martinelli scored. It was He made a run to the far post and it created all the space in the middle for him to shoot as well. You're right.
Right. So it's these little things. And I remember coming on here, and I'll be honest. I always said I didn't want Havertz just on the basis that he was a broken player. So I didn't want a project. I wanted someone to come in who was confident and can kind of help, like a Declan Rice, help elevate the team. But at the same time, I said, I'm going to give this guy some time before I judge him. And I remember being kind of laughed at or ridiculed. I remember having conversations with Brandon and saying, look, we've got to give this guy time before we throw him onto the bus. Because what he's done at Chelsea doesn't matter. I don't care what he does for Chelsea. Just like what Declan Rice did for West Ham doesn't matter to us. It's these performances that we are, that we judge him on, and why we're so high on praise for these 2 players in the last few, Havertz in the last few games and Declan Rice this season. And that's what we need to judge these players on.
Can I say one more thing before we go? Everyone's going to get on to Raya. Everyone's going to get on to all those guys. But I'm just going to say one more positive before I go. Jesus. I felt like Jesus was really doing well these last 2 games. The last game he missed a couple opportunities, but this game to start off he was really good. And the quick corner, Bukayo Saka getting the assist. I just felt like the whole attack today was on point. Defensively, that's where we were faults today, and the attack stepped up. So it's good to see the attack actually step up and help us win a game, because we've been relying on our defense a lot this season. And it just goes to show that we have a switch that we can take with our attack. And if we can contribute to connect the two, our attack and our defense, we could be blowing teams out. In a few
I want to ask you about another player. It kind of came up from Brendan earlier, actually. Look, Odegaard has faced a lot of ridicule this season, but I feel in the last, say, 3 games for you, his creativity's coming back. The reason you should have scored so many more, he should have had 3 or 4 assists in the previous game. That pass at the end tonight, obviously his goals in the last couple of games. With Odegaard starting to find form again, your attack starting to, because again, he still scored 4 goals tonight, and your attack is what's been ridiculed all year. You must be starting to rub your hands together a little bit, thinking, well, if we, generally speaking, your defense is good, your attack is now starting to click into gear. Is this when Arsenal really go on a solid run, in your opinion?
100%. The reason why we've been having our attack falter is because, Terry, when you look at it, we haven't actually had this front 6 play together much this season. They played together a couple games, and we've seen the goal returns now. When you look at the last game in the Champions League that we had this similar midfield and front 3. They banged in the goals. Once we had some of these guys come back from injury, I always expected our attack to get better. It's just the bedrock of our team was our defense. The goals were always going to come. That's just my whole thing. And Martin Odegaard, especially his injury, I thought because he was injured that we were going to see a dip in his performances, and he's going to slowly get back to form. He's starting to get back to form a lot quicker. And once and we know he's cash money whenever he gets that shot inside the box. Today it couldn't go off, but we're going to see him. We're going to see him back on form very soon.